Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. Today's video, guys, we're going to talk about how you're going to need to be ready for what happens next. So, guys, we are watching everything that's going on in the world, and especially with this Israeli-Hamas war that's going to get super out of control within the next couple of days, if not a week or so. We're going to watch other countries jump in and escalate the war to a regional war. They're refraining from calling it World War III. They are now referring to it as, or possibly becoming, a regional war. I'm not sure why they're refraining from calling it World War III and only referring to it as a regional war. My speculations or my own opinion is that they don't want it to affect the economy. That's why they're trying to stay away from calling it the Third World War. Anyway, not that has nothing to do with us. That's not our concern right now. Our concern, guys, is to be ready for what's going to happen next in this country, or wherever country you're from and you're watching this video. We watched in France a teacher get killed. We watched in Brussels 2 people get shot. And we watched in, if I'm not mistaken, here in the United States, a 6-year-old kid get stabbed. That was Chicago, by the way. So we watched these lone wolfish kind of things happen. We're undoubtedly going to see more violence, whether that's a lone wolf or just people acting like assholes. We watched, but we read about a restaurant, a Jewish restaurant, has swastikas written all over it. We watched a Palestinian restaurant, or heard of a Palestinian restaurant, get bad reviews just because they're Palestinians. Meanwhile, they're not siding with the war either way. So we're going to watch a lot more of these individual attacks, if you will, on these people, whether they're Jews or Palestinians or Muslims for that matter, or just Christians, because Christians are getting involved in this somehow or another with Muslims breaking their balls on the other side of the country. We haven't seen any Christian attacks in relations to this war yet here. We have seen, again, attacks on Jews. A guy punched a Jewish lady in the face for no apparent reason. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Muslim women and Muslim kids, more of them, get attacked as well. So we're going to see this back and forth, is what I'm getting at. We're going to see this back and forth, constant bullshit going forward. With that, we need to be ready, whether that's carrying a firearm or making sure your medical kit is squared away. We need to be established. We need to have our gear established and ready to rock and roll. Now, obviously, guys, if you are carrying a firearm, you should definitely be carrying a trauma kit. Don't carry a firearm and not a trauma kit. I think that is the stupidest thing in the world. Because should you accidentally hit somebody in the middle of a shootout, you want to render aid to that person. Or if you get shot in that shootout, you want to render aid to yourself. Always have a trauma kit if you're carrying a firearm, and always have a trauma kit if you're just a citizen who's out on the road or the street constantly. Especially if you're traveling in your car, you should have a trauma kit in your car just in case some shit happens, right? Anyway, we're going to watch more of these attacks, guys, and I think a lot of these attacks are going to become worse. And we're going to see more Muslims attacking Jews or just regular folks, and we're going to see more, I guess, Jews attacking Palestinians and or Muslims. And then there's the in-between, right? So again, especially like that guy in Chicago stabbing that 6-year-old kid. Keep in mind, he knew that kid since he was a baby and flipped the script and stabbed this kid out of nowhere. So you're going to see things like that happen now. I remember when Asian people were crying about being beat up and they were scared to come outside and all this other crazy shit. Now you're going to see this with Jews and Muslims. So you're going to see an attack on these two people from one another. Doesn't matter whose side you stand with, guys. If you see somebody get hurt, help. If you see a Palestinian lady get the shit kicked out of her, either jump in there, try to stop it. If you don't want to do either, at least wait till the guy leaves and then render aid. And the same message goes for if you're Muslim, Palestinian, whatever, and you see a Jewish woman or kid getting the shit kicked out of them, wait till that assailant is gone and render aid. Just render aid. It is not for us, guys, who are rendering aid, by the way, to pick a side. The moment to pick a side is not when you're going to render aid. You're like, oh, he's Palestinian, I'm not helping him out. That is not the time for you to render aid. No matter what your political stance is, if you're carrying any kind of medical kit, you should be rendering aid. if you're carrying that kit, your mission is to help other people. Period. Now, unless you're like a complete asshole and you just, you don't want to render aid only for your family and yourself, whatever. But you should be rendering aid to people who get hurt outside of yourself and your family. And then that's my personal hard stance on it. It's not even negotiable. And people are like, well, what if you render the fucking aid? Now, granted, if the shit is on and it's a fan scenario and you don't have a lot of medical gear to render aid to other people, that's understandable. But we're not there yet. We're probably going to be there soon. We're not there yet. So until we get to that point, render aid unto those who need aid. While this is all going on, I'll say it again. I'll say it a million times over and over. Keep your head on the swivel. Make sure you know your surroundings. Wherever surrounding you're in, whatever environment you're in, know where you are. Make sure that you have your head on the swivel. Make sure if you're walking into a movie theater, especially now, make sure when you're walking into a movie theater or any kind of concert venue hall, make sure that you know where all the exits are. Make sure you know where everybody is, especially in your group. Make sure if someone goes to get concessions or some shit like that, that you know that they went there. We have to be at a medium alert level now, and not low alert. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm at high alert. Don't stay at high alert yet. Wait till shit gets a little heavy-handed here, then go to high alert. Medium alert. Just make sure you know your surroundings and where everything is, and that if you see a suspicious person, especially, and I hate to say this, with somebody who is of a Muslim descent, with the look in their face, and you all know what look I'm talking about, at least for those of you that are in this field, you know what look I'm talking about. Just pay attention to that person. Don't single them out and start screaming, look at him, Muslim. Don't do that. Just pay attention. Pay attention to anybody who has a bad demeanor. Again, you know what that looks like. Especially if a guy who's eyeballing another Muslim person and he's seemingly white or Jewish looking, and you look at him and you're like, all right, he looked like he's going to make a move on those people. Keep that in the back of your head. Keep all of that shit, surveillance, all of it, and just take note of it. That's all I'm saying. These attacks are going to get a lot more worse, and because people are so emotional. Everybody wants to be emotionally charged for whatever reason, and I think at this point, guys, people want to be emotionally charged just to fucking argue, fight, and create havoc. A lot of this shit that people are being emotionally charged over is stupid. I think, for example, seeing a swastika. I think Jews want to go out of their way to be emotionally charged over some shit that, at least with this generation, didn't affect them. It's a fucking symbol. It's a symbol of evil. But it's a symbol of evil that other people keep perpetuating to piss you off so that they get a reaction out of you. And if you let these people get a reaction out of you, you're going to be owned by them. That is like me being scared of a pillowcase, a white pillowcase. Oh my God, that looks like the KKK. It's like, grow up. They're going to be putting swastikas all over the place to piss you off. It is how they control you. If you're going to let them control you, do yourself a favor. Stay the fuck home. But this is going to be an ongoing thing. We're going to see more swastikas than we can fucking swallow. But it is what it is. They're doing it to piss you off. Whereas the Germans, when they did it as a sign of evil. And that sign of evil was going to kill you. These people are doing it to piss you off. These people are doing it to be assholes. And whatever sign you could throw up for Muslims, like a pig or some shit, same goes for you Muslims that might be watching this. They're going to be putting ham on your door and all kinds of crazy shit just to piss you off. That's all it is. So again, guys, to sit there and feed into the bullshit, don't. This is the game they're playing. This is the game of division. They want us more divided, and this is a divisive war. People are being more divided than ever over this. Forget about Trump and Biden. This is something that's never going to be handled, guys. If Israel goes bananas in Gaza Strip, that's going to start the world war. Not a regional war, a world war. If not Palestinians, but if Hamas keeps their bullshit up, it's only going to get worse. And it's going to drive Israel into this insanity mode, which I think they're reaching. It's going to drive to this insanity mode. They're going to make irrational moves. That's going to, again, spark off the Third World War. But anyway, guys, this is getting out of control. This is only going to get worse. What you're going to need to do is be prepared for whatever happens next. Because I almost promise you some shit is going to go down here. Or more shit, sorry, it's going to go down here. More shit's going to go down in the UK, France, Italy. You name it, that's where more shit's going to go down. Just be ready to rock and roll, and be ready to protect somebody else if you absolutely have to. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.